You had some Judahites going to Scotland and Ireland. The Levites went to Wales. Simeon went to Spain. Reuben went to France. So we founded all these nations, and we were a blessing to mankind, and then we forgot who we were. And of course, Manasseh is the United States of America, and Manasseh means forgetful. We've forgotten that we are the Israelites of the Bible. So all of that will change when the Valley of the Dry Bones wakes up, and everybody comes back to life and kind of realizes who we are, and that's when the kingdom of God will be set up here on earth.
Well, that's kind of what we're doing here at they're doing at the tiny Texas houses. You know, they're bringing back the dead. They're restoring the dead.
Yeah.
We're
well,
doing it.
Yeah, I guess that's true in a way.
And you know, let's see, what do they call this business? It's a salvage business. A salvage business, yeah. So, you know, here's your salvation, man. Build your own house. You know, let's go back through our town. I mean, I would love, and I'm sure Brad would feel the same way. He'd love to send a crew there through Detroit to start taking down some of those buildings and rebuilding them back into a way that's manageable. You know, you don't need that 2,000 square foot, 3,000 square foot house. I was just in one of these houses that they're taking down, over 5,000 square feet. What a waste! Can you imagine dusting that all the time, sweeping? I mean, you'd have to have a full-time maid to have a house that big.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't need much room for myself. I mean, I think a motor home is just about all the space anybody would need. And
I've been real comfortable in my 37 foot fifth wheel. You know.
Yeah, I bet that's really nice. We have a neighbor here that has one, and it's really terrific. So I guess when they go camping, it's not like camping out at all. It's just like living in your living room. So they got their TV dish and everything on their camper, and they got all the amenities of home. When they
continuous programming.
Right, yeah. They don't even leave it at home. We don't even have TV hooked up, my wife and I. We haven't seen it since like 2009 when we moved to the farm, so I don't have to see that stuff every day. When I go to my mother-in-law's and see TV, I'm just amazed at the trash on it that the Jews are spewing out. It's just sickening. So every time I see TV, I get sick at my stomach. It's incredible. The stuff my mother-in-law watches, I just think, man, she's watching that brainwashing 24 hours a day. There's no way to get through to her. So it kind of gives me an idea of how these people you can't reach anymore because they have no interest in the truth.
Somebody on one of the chat rooms, Skip, was asking about Eli James, and Eli wrote part of the Christian identity section of my book, and somebody's asking Eli James, a rabbi. I thought you two were friends. Apparently, Eli James is a terror. I don't point any finger. You know, I get that kind of crap all the time. Oh, about you're this, you're that. You know, you're a loser, Clay. You know, but why? What's going on with Eli? Well, I mean, I know that you do a lot of work for him.
Have you seen the video of the rabbi that looks exactly like him?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No. Wait a minute. Maybe this is the one somebody sent me here.
Yeah, there's a Bill Fink sent out a link to a video of a rabbi that looks like Eli's twin brother, or it may be Eli for all I know, but there are like 128 different videos of the guy. I guess this is maybe 25 or 30 years ago. And it's going to be hard to sort that out without some kind of DNA test, because I've never seen two people look that much alike. and yet Eli says they don't look anything alike. So I think if I saw somebody that looked that much like me, I would say, well, yeah, that looks like total identity. That person looks so much like me, I can't believe it. And
when I tried to go to that site, it gave me an error. But anyway, I mean, again, I just don't think that's important anymore. What I think is important right now is we're coming into a part of the universe here that's very dangerous.
You mean this meteor stream that the Earth is supposed to pass through?
Yes, it's an energy field.
And this is on the 21st of December of this year?
Yes, sir. That's when we're supposed to be entering it. Yes, sir.
What are they predicting is going to happen when we pass through this thing anyway? Is it going
meteor
to be like
strikes, we could have plate shifts. You know, the inside of the planet could expand. It could be heating up. And I don't know if you folks are aware of it, but we did have one of those EMPs. We did have a solar flare that knocked out every computer at IRS. So maybe God is working out there, you know?
Yeah, wouldn't that be great to see the Jews IRS get blown up? They invented that in 1913, just like they invented the ADL and all their other abominations. And that's why I think that we might see the end in 2013, because it's 100 years from 1913, and God likes to work in round numbers sometimes. So that's just amazing that we're going to pass through this meteor shower, or whatever you call it, on the 21st of December this year. So it looks to me like we're getting awful close to the last big curtain. And that's kind of hopeful, because once Christ sets up his kingdom and is back on his throne, things will really get straightened out really fast, and it's going to be a whole new world around here when that happens. So something to look forward to, I guess.
All right, well, we're doing that. But folks, I mean, you know, when I came up with the plan for Liberty Village, I asked myself, how did we survive 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago? How did we survive? And the answer is villages, small homes, you know, cabins clustered around, you know, and we got 1 acre here. We can put about 12 cabins on 1 acre, and I'll take applications in there. That's all I want. That's all I need. I want a half a dozen. I want 10 neighbors, half a dozen neighbors that are vital people that can contribute something. You know, maybe you know, one of them's a farmer, maybe one of them's a writer. I mean, I see this being a great writers colony, or writers village even. It's not just, you know, because with the rights of the individuals, you know, you can believe whatever you want. You can leave.
Well, do you have a lot of farmland around these little houses, or do you have any place where you can plant food?
Oh yeah, all we have to do is put wood chips down on the ground. We don't have to plow it or anything. The wood chips will, and you can see the film up on my website. There's a link up there somewhere, although I'm altering my website a bit. And it's a different way of farming. And they don't plow the soil. They don't destroy the soil. They keep the animals, the worms, the bugs alive in there. That's what makes the forest. That's what makes the forest grow. And we can do that. You know, just put pots out. Put wood chips down on the ground. You don't even have to plow, folks. And the link that we've got up on the site. I mean, the guy's just doing wonderful things, growing huge vegetables.
So you're saying that he can actually plant a crop in these wood chips and it grows and they can harvest it like that? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, are these cut up very fine, kind of like soil, or are they big wood chips, or what?
I don't know the exact size of them. You just run them through a wood chipper. And the interesting thing that the guy told me And I'll put the links up again to his site. I've just got to edit those out. I've cut the site was way too big, so I cut it back. And he says the wind doesn't blow it away. It won't pick up the wood chips. The wood chips just stay there. It's called back2edenfilms.com.
How big? So he can actually plant tomatoes or any kind of crop he wants to in this, and they'll grow good as long as he keeps them watered down. Is that the whole point of the thing?
Now we still have the problem of the weather wars. I mean, that's going on. The weather wars are happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, in other words, as long as he keeps this watered down good, you can actually grow a crop on it. Is that right?
Yes, and the wood chips help maintain the moisture in the soil. You don't get grass or weeds when you use wood chips, according to my friend David, who turned me on to this.
Well, it must turn into compost or something to the point where it deteriorates so the plant can grow. Is that it?
Yes.
Well, they must be real fine wood chips then. They must be cut up pretty small so that they'll deteriorate in the sun and the wet.
The wood chip, it's like the leaves on the forest. It's protecting the soil. It's protects the ground from the sun and the wind, and helps it retain water.
Do you have enough of a water table in Texas that you could spray down these fields and keep them going even during the drought?
We got the San Marcos River just down the road, which is, basically coming out of San Marcos, out of what used to be Aquarena Springs.
So you'd have enough water to actually hose down the field or keep it wet enough to keep your crop growing, is that it?
I believe so.
That's amazing. Well, I wish we would have had something this year for our corn. I looked out the window and see 40 acres of corn just dead as a doornail because of the droughts. And we had a drought kind of like that in 2010 where we had a whole field full of dead corn. It was really amazing to see all that because it's a tremendous loss when you have that much corn. Totally
that's all over now. Coming across to Texas, coming across New Mexico and Texas, and every creek we passed was dry.
No kidding.
Just about.
Man, that's amazing.
Even some of the rivers are getting real small.
Well,
but go ahead. Go ahead.
We drilled 2 artesian wells here on the farm last year, and if we would have known how bad the drought would have been, we could have kept those fields pretty wet, but we didn't realize how the drought was coming. But the wells go down 450 feet to the aquifer, so we really have a cap on a limitless amount of water because we could have pumped those fields wet had we known, and kept the corn alive. But man, when you look at the corn on northern West Virginia, it's a total disaster, a total loss this year, and it's even worse in other states I know where the drought has been so bad that you can't really say anything. It's amazing. So I guess all your corn products are going to go through the roof when this hits the grocery stores. Everything that's made.
Well, that's again the whole idea behind Liberty Villages is if you can grow your own food and generate your own energy from what God gave us, the sun and the wind, man, how hard can that be? We got the technology. They just don't want you to think, you might have to go out and check your battery every now and then rather than flip a light switch.
Well, it would be nice to have a bank of these solar cells so you could actually run your house, because that would really be enough energy to run an average household for a day if you had the whole roof covered with these things and ran your refrigerator and everything that you had on these solar cells. That would be really terrific. And a lot of people just let all that sunlight go to waste, and that's kind of a shame to not have solar cells everywhere you look on all the houses and everything. That would be really nice. But takes a lot of money to get those things. That's what they should be making, just like that new Volt car by Chevrolet that can accelerate to 80 miles an hour very quickly, and it's all based on electricity. You just plug in your car at night and charge it up for the next day. And it's really quite a car. And if you need the motor, you can turn it on and use regular gas, but most of it will last for a whole day. You know, you can commute to Washington, D.C. and back without any problem. All an electric motor. So,
well, I've said it's really a matter of restructuring the way that we think. You know, we've been programmed. We've been stereotyped. We've been programmed, and I intend in the future to concentrate on the positive. I ain't gonna argue with nobody. I ain't gonna debate nobody. You can come home and and explain your beliefs just like the Christian Zionists did. And I may even have some Jews on just to get you know, if they can be polite instead of you know, being rude and trolls, then I'd be interested.
oh, you were telling me in 2010 when I was at my aunt's house something about a Jew that you'd been on an elevator with that got so mad he practically turned into a demon right in front of you.
That was Lynn Horowitz, and yes,
the elevator?
That was in the elevator. That was Dr. Lynn Horowitz, and yeah, I saw it. Yes, it happened. Yes, I didn't. I never. And now he's running around telling people, well, Clay owed me $700. No, no, I didn't owe you any money. I sold your books for about 10 years, you know, and then suddenly he wanted to control what I published. I ran one article called, and we were at the Conspiracy Con. I ran one article called, Do Jews Run the World, and is it hate to ask that question? Now, I didn't write the story. I didn't write the article. It was a story about a young college kid that got kicked out of college for talking about the Zionists, or talking about Jews, or mentioning Jews. And
yeah, they think it's hate to tell the truth, so that's pretty funny. I guess the several kids would think that it was hate to tell the truth, because that just kind of adds up for them, you know. That's why they hated Jesus so much, because he wasn't one of them. And yet today, everybody thinks Jesus was a Jew.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I had a real pretty blonde lady. She came to hear my lecture, and she you know, we were talking about the books, and she said that. She said, oh, but Jesus was a Jew. I said, no, he wasn't. Not according to Pontius Pilate, not according to everything else. No, he wasn't.
Right,
he wasn't an Edomite.
Of course not. Yeah. Well, see, that's like the Bible you mentioned by Schofield. That's really what started that, because everybody started reading his footnotes instead of the actual text in the Bible. And, of course, he twisted everything around in the footnotes, which is modern English. And the old King James version was hard to read, so everybody read his footnotes where he's pretending the Jews are the Israelites. So that's really what started it in 1909 when he did that Bible. And 100 years of that has destroyed everybody's mind to thinking that the Jews are the Israelites. So, and the Semites, they're not Semites at all. Sem is Greek for Shem, the white son of Noah, and it doesn't have anything to do with Jews. But they pretend to be Semites, so they really snowed everybody with their lies. It's just amazing. And astonishing to see all that happen in only 100 years. But you're right, that Schofield Bible really started that.
Yeah, somebody said here, well, Jesus certainly wasn't a Talmudic Jew. He was a Torah Jew. How would you respond to that?
Well, the Jews don't believe in the Torah either, because they didn't write a word of it. The Jews didn't join the Judahites until 125 BC, so they didn't write a single word of the Old Testament. But everybody thinks that the prophets in the Old Testament were all Jewish. Well, that's nonsense. It's amazing to see that come around today. It's just overwhelming deception. and everybody believes it. So what are you going to do?
All right, what's your plan, Skip? We got about 4 minutes left here, and I'll keep you on a little bit because I'll keep you on an extra 10 minutes to finish up the conversation after blog talk. But,
you ended right at 11 a.m. on Eastern time, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is that about 4 minutes from
4
now?
minutes, yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, I would just say that the Jews are pretending to be us real Israelites, the Europeans, and that they snowed the entire world into thinking that they are Israelites and Judahites. And the 13 tribes left hundreds of years before Christ came, and many of them were even gone long before that and had migrated into Europe and Greece and several places like that. So right before the time of Christ, they were defeated by King John II and forced to be circumcised or die. And of course, when they bought up the Bible publishing companies in the 1800s, they were able to remove the Apocrypha from our Bible, which told all those stories. We would have had all the evidence of how the Jews infiltrated Judea and were able to pretend to be the Judahites, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. So, because the Christians don't know any of this history today, and their pastors aren't telling them, and their pastors don't know because they've gone to Jew-owned seminaries, they have to study this stuff out for themselves. And yet there are texts in the Bible that clearly show you the Jews aren't Hebrews, where they admit to Jesus in John 8:33 that they were never slaves in Egypt. Well, that right there alone proves they can't be the Hebrews of the Old Testament. So people need to dust off their Bibles and start reading and finding out what's going on, because we're getting right close to the end now. I think you're right. Maybe a good thing would be to do some of the liberty villages and get people out in the country and away from the big cities.
Yes, we're setting up a little church, a little chapel. It'll be in the middle of the village. And
it would be nice to have a summer home, a small place like that where people could go to and get away from the big cities, because it's going to be very dangerous there when this whole thing collapses. It's going to really be something, I think. And you must be set up pretty good there in Texas. How far are you from any big cities?
I'm 50 miles from Austin. I'm 50 miles from San Antonio. I'm 150 miles from Houston. And I'm right on I-10. You can stop in at the Tiny Texas houses at the Luling exit.
Really, underworld that mainstream media won't
hang on a minute.
At radio, you can listen live or listen to TruthRadio.com. The truth is out there. Shut up.
All right.
So that ended your recording? Is that how that works?
Well, that's ended almost all of my recording. And, okay. We're for Blog Talk now, and I am also considering doing possibly an evening show. Haven't done that in a long time, but I'm kind of on a different schedule. I'm on a different routine here, and I'm actually getting healthy, man. Everybody sees my little Coca-Cola drink here. Well, it ain't Coca-Cola no more.
So you also record this on video when you do your show?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm doing here. We still got 6 minutes left on the video, and we're...
Well, do you store those as MP4s? Is that how you do your video?
Yes, sir. And I put them up on YouTube. I just, just me talking. Every now and then when I get creative, when I've got help that ain't mad at me, I can edit it and put some, like I've done with, I might put some of your pictures or some of your art up on this. So,
So you can just put the sound behind the picture, and you put up the picture, and you have the sound of the program behind it.
Yeah, I can do that. Yes, I've gotten that set up yet. Now that I can do that. And yeah, we had the thing to go down. So the videos will have maybe 2 minutes missing from the video. That's all.
Well, can you send me the URL where people can download the MP3 of our show today?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just shoot me an email.
Okay, if all you got to do is go to my site, and behind your name is a URL for Blog Talk Radio.
And just click on that, and it'll give me the URL that I can send out.
Yes, sir. You can right-click it and save it. You know, copy the URL. It's all the date and everything up on Blog Talk Radio is right up there right now. It's right there right now. You can hear this show right now.
Oh, great. And then that way I'll send it out to my list and give it to everybody so they can listen to it.
Yeah, if you just do a right-click on it and, you know, how'd that work?
Of course, on the Mac, you can't right-click on a MacBook Pro because there is no right-click. But I guess all I have to do is click on it and it will pick it up.
Yes, sir.
I think that's how that works. It just copies it as you click on it. And it'll copy it and put it into an email that I can send out. Well, okay, is that the end of the 4 minutes now?
Yes. Let me see here. Where are we at here?
So is it okay if I hang up now?
Yes, sir. It is. Let me stop it. I'll go ahead and stop this now. But SkipBaker's been my guest, and that's SkipBaker2. Guys, check it out, and let me know. Send me an email. And if you're interested in living in a smaller house, living in a different type of environment, getting back to the way things are, then, yeah, we'll welcome you. All right, SkipBaker, thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Clay. We'll see you later.
All right, sir. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.